I've recently heard that 85% of people that have tested positive for COVID-19 wore masks. But are these numbers true? How can it be true when the CDC, medical professionals, and researchers all say that masks are effective? Is it possible that they are wrong and masks are ineffective? Welcome. Glad you could make it. My name is Victor, and welcome to the first episode of Random Data Analysis, where I analyze relevant but random data that you might see in the news or social media in order to help you get a better understanding of the numbers behind these articles and posts. Now, a small disclaimer. Believe it or not, I am not a medical doctor, nor do I have a PhD. Honestly, I'm just a guy with a large interest in data analysis, and this channel is really just kind of an outlet for me to share some interesting things I uncover about some relevant topics. And now, we will very smoothly segue back to your video. Alrighty, so this figure of 85% comes from a certain CDC study titled Community and Close Contact Exposures Associated with COVID-19 Among Symptomatic Adults that was published on September 11, 2020. This study was designed and carried out in order to better understand how COVID-19 can spread from one person to another. The study does not mention the figure of 85%, except for a table at the end of the article to describe the makeup of each study group. However, people such as Donald Trump and news opinion hosts such as Tucker Carlson are saying that masks don't really work, and this study proves it. But as is often the case in politics, you look for data that matches your viewpoint, and this study from a reputable source was just served up on a platter for their agenda.
But then you have a report coming out 2 days ago that 85% of the people wearing masks.
I looked at that report. It's not about mask wearing.
Now, I'm not going to delve into the study too much because the people who believe that masks are ineffective aren't going to care about the details of the report, and they realistically have clicked off the video already. And there are also other videos that explain the report in detail made by people much more qualified than me. But if you really want me to do analysis of my own, let me know in the comments and maybe that can be a future video. Now, for the purpose of this video, let's ignore all of that, and I will show you through some basic math and statistics that the figure of 85% actually proves that masks are twice as effective at preventing COVID-19 than not wearing one. So are you ready for some math? Okay, let's start with some assumptions. First, we're going to assume that the study results are indeed true and that 85% of people who tested positive for COVID-19 wore masks all the time or at the very least, most of the time when outside of the house. Second, we will also assume that studies that show 90 to 95% of people wear masks all or most of the time is also true. So for the sake of the argument, we will split the difference and say 92% of people wear masks. These two key statistics will form the basis of my math-based argument, or what I like to call the use your brain dummy argument. So when you look at these two numbers, you can easily deduce that there's a 7% difference, which is 92% minus 85%. So what's the big deal here, Victor? That shows masks only slightly reduces the risk, and therefore we can conclude that masks are not very effective, right? And surely that means that this data still appears to support that masks aren't that effective, right? Of course not. And if that were true, this video would be over and you all would have been clickbaited. And where's the fun in that? Actually, there is a lot of fun in that, but that's besides the point. So we have to go a little deeper into the numbers. Step 1. We calculate the reduction in risk or probability of the masking wearing population by dividing the COVID positive group over the general population. So 85% divided by 92% is 0.92 or an 8% reduction in risk for people that wear masks. Step 2. Now this is where you really turn your brain on, so pay close attention. You don't want to miss the details here. We have to do the same calculation for non-mask wearers. Crazy, right? Really using those calculative juices. So we divide the COVID positive group, which is 100% minus 85%, over the general population, 100% minus 92%. So 15% divided by 8% is 1.88, or 188% increase. Step 3. You can turn your brain back off because the hard part is over. The usage of your brain ends when you look at the difference, which is a 188% increase versus an 8% decrease, which shows that there is a 196% difference. Just to make it easier for all of us, we will round this to a 200% difference. So there you have it, a 200% increase in contracted COVID if you don't wear a mask as compared to if you do wear a mask. Amazing, right? Basically a 200% increase. Extremely epic math moment. And if you actually read the study, it said adults with confirmed COVID-19 case patients were approximately twice as likely as were control participants to have reported dining at a restaurant in the 14 days before coming ill. And because a 200% increase is equal to a 2 times multiplier, my analysis is in line with the research conducted by the CDC. Now, for all you nerds out there, my analysis is imperfect, as studies such as these aren't ever perfect, and one of the hardest things for a researcher to do is to eliminate their viewpoint or bias. Recall back to when I said you look for data that matches your viewpoint, but this should be sufficiently accurate for the purpose of my first YouTube video. I would greatly appreciate it if you could provide any kind of feedback on my analysis, positive or negative, much like a peer review in academics. Additionally, I have created a small paragraph you can copy and paste in order to epically win any argument you have, be it with insane internet people or that wacky uncle everyone has. Shout out to my uncle Dennis. That paragraph should be in the description beneath this video. So if you like this video and would like to see another, please like and subscribe so that I will be encouraged to make more content like this instead of just watching something like hockey highlights all day, which isn't necessarily bad, just very unproductive. And if you do have any ideas, please send me them so I have something to do as quarantine restrictions start to come back up. Thank you for watching. This has been Victor with Random Data Analysis, and keep using that brain of yours that definitely exists. I swear it really does exist.